Hi guys, as you notice, my name is Warren Buffett.
And my name is Vitalik Buterin. And we
we
are
are
the
the
Blockchain
Blockchain
Brothers. Don't worry, it's not another cheesy American investor show. But without further ado, let's kick off.
As you guys know, there's two worlds, and I want to make it slate here, okay? So let's say that you guys are all centralized guys, okay?
So we have Gustav from
So,
MakerDAO here. He just
all
left
of you guys on
one
the
of
left side,
teams.
you're all from the centralized system. And Alex, introduce.
DeFi, everybody. When I say D, you say Fi. D. D. Yeah.
Okay, shit, I'm losing the race to start already. Okay. So centralized finance, obviously. This is the mother earth of everything. Every transaction, everything that's been happening since the beginning, as you see across the street over there, is the big banks. Centralized finance brought what? Money. And how can you trust someone you don't know if he's not part of your community? That's why centralized finance has been growing. And what do I believe in? I believe first that everything should be centralized, obviously. I believe that everything should be non-transparent to make sure that only my friend Bob is allowed to play the golf and get the best sweet deals out. I don't want equal access, obviously. And I want to make sure that I have a highly big success of censorship within my network. What does that bring? Not all of these guys, but some of them maybe could look into that business model, and some of that guys could enable you to have a fair way of transacting to the platform, or maybe another way that is a bit more shady.
So guys, you heard that. His best argument was being non-transparent, which was very, very nice. But this is a really nice message. I think it sums up the idea of DeFi, and it's imagine a global, open alternative to every financial service you use today, accessible to anyone with a little more than a smartphone and internet connection. So that's the beauty of DeFi. And as you know, Ethereum has done an incredible job at not just creating decentralized finance, but creating subcategories that are really exciting. And we have Tezos family, and we have other blockchains coming to our family. So DeFi is definitely the best and the hot topic of this year.
Okay, that's definitely great for hippies and for a few different crypto people, but let's believe the truth out of it. What's the great thing about centralized finance? Well, again, it goes back to the same thing. Why do you trust your family? Because it's a very small group, so you trust the state. You trust the state because you have citizenship in it. You trust a company because it has liabilities and it's regulated through a system that you live in. And more importantly is that when you work with centralized system, you don't only have one small little dApp and one still small product. You have holistic, different services that goes with it.
And the best thing, you trust the people who crash your economy every single time and lose all your money with all the crises. But instead, us with DeFi, you can trust the protocol. Code is law. Do not trust a man, trust code. But on top of that, it's a peer-to-peer. That's what it was created for, right? Bitcoin created a peer-to-peer transaction system, electronic cash or form of cash. The transparency is always there. You can check the chain whenever you want. And on top of that, by creating all this, it's the true representation of financial freedom because it's accessible to all. So take that, Sai.
Okay, maybe you got it on that one. Maybe that's true. But now let's talk about legal KYC and all the shady shit that happens in crypto. We just talked about chain analysis over there that 1.1% of all crypto transactions were actually going for the darknet and a lot of criminal activities. That is good, that's true, but on the same time, that is still $11 billion. That's a shit amount of lot of cash that's being shoveled into different pockets that are really not meaningful. More importantly, well, we never know where money's coming from, and when you're looking for DEX, you don't have any insurance on that money, don't you? Do you?
Legal KYC is one of the strongest points of DeFi, guys. This is anonymous. It's neutral. It doesn't censor anyone. If you're in a sanctioned country, if you're born there just because you have a passport, we onboard nobody, no discrimination, no barriers, and that's the beauty, and that's why DeFi were much better. And on top of that, many people actually don't even have formal identification, which truly shows that this whole sector, DeFi is on another level than what CeFi is.
Okay, maybe cool for few Iranians, but I'm not too sure about that. What about the fact that all of these decentralized apps are super complicated. I mean, you have to have a PhD in coding to understand how to plug on your wallet. What about the fact that, the user experience, again, is very poor? Where on the other side, with every centralized activity, it's easy to use. You have support team, you have a FAQ, you have multiple languages if you have a barrier for that, and on the same time, you have custody. You don't need to worry about if your private key is going to get hacked or not. You just have to rely on a third party that will save it for you.
In all fairness, you guys know Kyber Network, Aave, they have awesome UI and UX, right? So the DeFi world is actually getting much, much easier in terms of user friendliness and onboarding beginners. So we will get there, guys, really, really soon.
Products. I mean, come on.
Come on, stablecoins, MakerDAO. Come on, that is the real deal. Decentralized stablecoin. One of the biggest innovations. On top of that, we have lending. How much do you guys give in terms of passive income when I put my money in your savings account? Not even 1%. We go up to 15% of DeFi world, guys. And that's why we're so much better than this crappy savings account that you get.
But we have
soon to be negative interest, as a matter of fact. So
okay,
DeFi
I
wins
get it
here
on
for
that.
sure.
But we have the real money, the big bulk, right? This is where the real fat gateways. We're not talking about the 1% of crypto. We're getting the big picture. And on same, if you're only into crypto, we accept every cross-chain. We're not ERC20 only compatible. It takes anything. Whatever your solution is, we just plug it in. We have derivatives. There's no such as derivatives or like maybe a few $1 million on some DEX exchanges. And what about equity bonds and funds? That's the big picture. $6 trillion in ETF. That is more than anything in cryptos altogether, right?
Well, let's talk about, no, let's not talk about liquidity.
Let's exactly talk about liquidity.
Can we skip the slide, guys? Who agrees we should skip the slide?
Look, I don't need to talk. Just look at this. Come on, guys. Size does matter, ladies. You know that, right? So I'm sorry to say, next slide.
Okay, that's the only point where I agree with you, okay? The only point. But let's talk about security. Okay, guys, 2018 alone, in the first 6 months, $1.1 billion was lost by CoinCheck and Xife in Japan. We have more exchanges getting hacked every day, even the best exchanges. And you guys know we have reliable security, not your keys, not your funds, non-custodial, which is way better than what centralized has to offer. And that's about it. I don't think you have much to say, do you?
I don't.
When I say D, you say Fi? D? D? Ha.
When I say centralized, you say centralized. Centralized.
Yeah, you got one person. Yes. Okay. Okay,
last not least, again, Anik for speed, we're looking for this. Obviously, blockchain nodes is still limited. We know that we're at a blockchain space where we cannot scale. We cannot have speed that is as big as it. We know that all the centralized exchanges, why is it going through there? There's less fees, and obviously it's much faster, right? And that's how it is. We could do multiple trades within milliseconds, or those milliseconds will take maybe sometimes even minutes to hours on the Bitcoin network. So,
well, guys, we have Lightning, right? We have secondary scaling solutions. We'll get there soon. Atomic swaps is being in the works. So we'll definitely catch up at that point eventually.
So let's sum it up, brother. Vitalik.
Okay, Warren Buffett, come on. So what is the idea? Which is better?
I mean, it's hard to say. And with every evolution, there's no revolution. And I believe that, coming from the centralized world and looking at the DeFi world, there's probably best of both. And there's probably a way that actually our brotherhood could get better, right? We know that there's things to be improved on the security measures, on the privacy as well, on the control side. But most probably, if we have a digital ID, for example, on the blockchain, that could probably change a lot. What do you think about that?
I agree. And DeFi, there's so much coming along, and this is really where we want to go so that people have the option, and all problems can be solved depending on what your needs are and what the context is. So we don't believe anyone will disappear or all of a sudden, but it will be the best of both worlds eventually. But there's a massive problem that even DeFi and CeFi doesn't solve as of today, right?
Yep. It's the fact that we're fucking awesome. Well, the base of the SwissBorg, what it is always to merge the off-chain and the on-chain world, taking best of both worlds. Because, again, you can't say that DeFi is better than centralized system. And centralized system itself, obviously, is not going to stand forever. We need to make sure that we're in a compliant way of evolving and bringing, obviously, the best of the both two solutions. So, thinking about that, this is more regarding governance. Obviously, blockchain, one of the biggest space while we're all in it, is that we want to change the world and make it the greater good. One of our solution for our token is to have referendums, and people could vote. The first referendum was very easy. Do you want a mobile app or do you want a desktop app for the wealth app? Very easy, A or B. It happened, the mobile app won, very good. But then we had a second referendum say, what type of theme do you guys want to invest to? And there was 5 different themes, okay? As these people are actually voting on the blockchain, you could see live transaction happening, so you could calculate the faith of your vote. So if you have 5 solutions and it's only halfway through, and maybe only 30% of people voted, but the solution A is winning and the C is winning, I swear to God, you're going to choose rather the A or the C. You're not going to think about the B, you're not going to think about the D, you're not going to think about the E. So by this elimination process, it actually brings that transparency for some level, because actually it could be not good at all. So there's always a way to maybe to centralize voting system, but produce the results after on the blockchain and making sure they have a tamper-proof way to doing that. And that's what exactly we believe at SwissBorg, how we should do about governance, but as well going forward about tokenization and trading in general.
Absolutely, so the best of both worlds, guys. Even in governance, which you want it to be decentralized, because that's where you really need to trust this protocol. As you guys can see, it could actually have the contrary effect. So having both a system of centralized, decentralized, even for governance, is key.
Right, that's totally true.
Now, one thing, guys, that we're lacking as of today, and this will be the trend of 2020 and 2021, is the inefficient market. So the crypto market, as you know, is very, very fragmented as of today. And the problems we're facing mainly is, for example, fragmented fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. So obviously, decentralized exchanges don't have these options. So people tend to go, either they earn their crypto and they go on decentralized exchanges, or they go through a centralized exchange and then go to a decentralized exchange. So this is very fragmented. What else is fragmented, Sai?
Well, the fact that all these different order books that are, they're spread off around the world. We have Huobi, Binance, Kraken, all these different exchanges together have great liquidity, but fragmented. Like before NASDAQ, it was very hard to match those bid-ask in different closed order books.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some of your favorite tokens will not be listed on one exchange, and you have to use multiple accounts. Who here has multiple exchanges on your Google Authenticator? Who has more than 3? Who has more than 5? Still some people more than 5. That shows how inefficient and fragmented the market truly is. And obviously this means fragmented liquidity. Maybe you're on exchange, but your favorite token has more liquidity on another exchange, which is another type of fragmentation, which really sucks. But this one really, really sucks, right?
Prices, obviously. You get discrepancy prices, you get mismatch orders, and therefore you don't get, essentially what you want at the right price.
Absolutely. And the generation that we believe is here to come, guys, is prime brokerage. And this is pretty much, we've seen this in hotels, we've seen this in airlines, where whenever you have a fragmented market, the prime brokerage will solve that problem. And basically what it will do is it will find the best price and whatever you need to accommodate the needs of the general people, the retail people who want to get into the space.
Right.
And as of today, the DEXs already have 2 aggregators. 1inch, which is absolutely awesome. It aggregates through multiple decentralized exchanges. We have DEX, AG. There's also Changely and other platforms, but there's also the centralized aggregators.
Right, Voyager and ourselves, exactly.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, what's the smart engine, Alex?
The smart engine, guys, basically with SwissBorg, you'll be able to get the best price, meaning you'll be able to buy at the lowest price and sell at the highest price. But you'll also be able to multiply your liquidity. If there's not enough liquidity for the MKR, the maker token, but they're listed on multiple exchanges, we will aggregate on multiple exchanges. So best liquidity, best price execution, but we'll also be able to do some really cool things, which we'll talk about next.
Right. And if you look at the graph, is that, just say you have 1 BTC, you want to sell against Ether, okay? You could go look at the multiple different exchanges and see what's the best price, or you could do it in the smarter way with pattern recognition, what we're doing. So in this case, we have sold half of BTC against Ripple, against XTC, sorry, and then XTC against ETH. And the other case, you would go from 0.5 BTC on HitBTC to XRP, and then again on HitBTC back to Ether. So here you're seeing that there's different exchanges, but as well there's different routes to get to the same results. Because at the end, you want something at a better price and with better liquidity.
And that is so cool because you can create trading pairs that do not exist on the market as of today. So if you want to buy the Huobi token directly with British Pound, you'll likely go from British Pound to BTC, BTC to Huobi token, having at least 2 exchanges in between. And that will take anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 minutes. But what if you could execute that in milliseconds? And that's what we really believe will help mass adoption in the years to come.
So this is obviously our token. We did an ICO, it was very successful in 2017, 2018. Now we're really making sure that it's the heart of our ecosystem by bringing membership utilities. So like you have free trading with our token. We have obviously back burn, we have referendums, making sure you have your vote counts, and we'll be bringing more and more cool features as multi-utility evolves in our ecosystem.
Absolutely. And of course, well, as we like to say, the future is now, guys. If you want more information, you'd like to see demos. If you want to bring your app in the future and compare your pricing compared to ours, we can have a lot of fun. We can do some fun battles as well. And just one thing, if you notice, why do you guys think we have 2 colors here today? A black and a white.
Yin and yang match is always the best, guys. There's always the best in both.
Exactly, and that's why we have a gray T-shirt, guys.
Oh yeah, sure as well. I forgot
because
about that.
Because it's never black and white. It's always gray. The best of both worlds.
Yay, brother. Welcome, guys.